Hey everyone, in for my last session today. So I think with this character, been pretty much blocking out most of the stuff. Um, the thing that's kind of probably lagging behind the most right now, I mean, I'd probably be tinkering around with this for a lot longer if I was kind of on this character for a thing, but I'll probably look at the hands and the boots today. If I've got about 2 hours, I'll probably be trying to split that up roughly kind of down the middle. I mean, I may kind of end up jumping around a little bit, but I think they're kind of like the two big pieces I'll be looking at today. So I've kind of got my base block out for my boots, and so I'm just going to kind of go through and start splitting this out just so it'll kind of look a little bit more detailed than this. Actually, just got to get my pure ref up real quick. Got a good reference for boots. I think I kind of was pretty heavily referencing stuff like this. So I'll kind of be splitting it out, kind of getting these sort of panels happening, and then getting like the soles of it sort of going as well. So we'll see how far we get with that today, but we'll just kind of get cracking with it. So it's going to kind of duplicate, and then I can kind of basically be deleting all the bits that I don't need. Alright, I can kind of start sculpting with that. So for here, I mean, I could either just go Dynamesh, see how that turns out. Actually, I've got to delete hidden. It kind of does alright. Just got to kind of hide everything else so I can kind of be working up to that point. Kind of good thing about Dynamesh is that it will actually make you a poly group out of all this. So what I can do is just sort of move that up. Symmetry on. Yep. So I'm just going to do this just so I've got a little bit more room to kind of work with. Just re-Dynamesh that. What I may actually do, just because that other boot's kind of getting in my way, I might just turn symmetry off and actually just delete all this, just to kind of make my life a little bit easier so I can see everything that I'm doing. So at this stage I'm going to kind of be doing stuff like, you know, breaking it out into separate subtools, just tidying things up, just to kind of, and I'll probably start doing some Z remeshing as well. But a lot of this is going to be like, you know, setting up poly groups and yeah, Z remeshing that. So I'm just going to think about what kind of patterns I want to be doing on the bottom of this. That'll kind of be a lot of the work I'll be doing. What I might do is, I might leave that white. I'm just going to fill that, and I'm going to tidy the shape up just a smidge. But past that, what I'm going to do is just start poly painting stuff, and I'm basically just going to be kind of like painting in my pattern that I'm going to be using as my you know, soul, basically. So I'm going to use a bunch of like contrasting colors, and what that will kind of allow me to do is I can kind of use that to poly group, and then I can kind of break everything out from there. And the main thing that I kind of quite like about doing it this way is it means that I can kind of just paint stuff on again later. I'm not like super committed to it early on. I can kind of just focus on what the actual look of it is. Let's straighten those lines out. Just holding shift and dragging and letting go. Kind of do a couple of things I might be able to like, if I hit C and kind of pick my color again, but maybe I can just kind of like put some of that back in, maybe. What am I trying to do? So I'm going to say red is going to be pushing in, so I might kind of continue with this sort of stuff. Hey, how you doing? Welcome back. How have you been? Jeez, yeah, it's gonna be probably not gonna enjoy this part as much, I reckon. But I'm gonna try to make it fun for myself, hopefully. But pretty much, I mean, I've kind of got my base shape in there, so I'm kind of hoping a lot of this is just gonna be like, hopefully somewhat creative stuff while I'm making patterns and stuff like that. I'm making it a bit too much like a sneaker, I think, but I might just get a little bit more resolution for this. Kind of like drawing a blank a little bit on what shoes actually look like. Look up some reference because I feel like I'm just going to be making crap up. So lazy to look up sci-fi. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going for a bit more of a sleek sort of thing, but maybe some stuff like this is kind of interesting. Okay. Changing gears a little bit. How's your project going? Yeah, nice. What are you working on it currently? I think I saw some of the can stuff you're doing. Yeah, I know that feeling. I kind of feel like I've got, like, I don't know, too many projects running concurrently at the same time. So it's probably good that you're like sticking it out to at least finish it before you're moving on. All right. Oh, I mean, I don't think I really manage them, which is probably part of the problem. But I mean, I think the main reason I kind of have a few different things, because I feel like I've got effort for different types of things, because basically all the projects I've got, they're all kind of like slightly different, so I kind of feel like I might kind of be in the mood for doing, thanks, anyway, yeah, I might be in the mood for doing something different per day, so we'll kind of just jump between a lot of them, you know, because it's like no one's making me do it, so I don't really want it to necessarily be too much of a chore outside of work, so I'll just sort of see what I feel like each day and chip away at each thing. No idea what I'm doing here. Anyone seen the new ZBrush update that's come out? It's got some pretty cool stuff in there. I was playing with the cut brush before. It's pretty good. Was it like cut and it's like a new bevel tool? Actually surprisingly pretty good, but it's like slightly limited, but Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's one of those weird things because I kind of feel like I need some amount of pressure to actually get it done, but also if I kind of pressure myself too much, it sort of stops being so enjoyable, and I probably also might not end up getting it done, so kind of end up needing to like find that line where, you know, being productive, but also not just sort of unnecessarily stressing myself out when it's kind of just meant to be extra stuff. Yeah, check it out. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I might need to just commit if you're gonna use it that much. It's worth it. I mean, like, you know, you kind of get updates, like free updates for it, so it ends up being pretty worth it. But yeah, I think there was like just like a few new kind of tools added. I actually haven't installed it on this computer. This one's not my main computer. Well, it's not my computer at all, but yeah, a lot of it seemed to be around like the cut tool and basically around like some hard surface stuff really. Be pretty helpful for some of the stuff I'm doing right now. Just doing basically random shapes right now, so I'm just gonna kind of stop and see what I can do with this. Cool. Man. I'll do this and then move on. So I'm just going to go to from Polypaint. So I've got a little, you know, extra button down here. So I've kind of made polygroups from my Polypaint. So I've kind of got all that section, and I'll just do like a slight little cleanup for it. So while I've got that, I'm just going to turn off my poly paint so you can probably see it a little bit better. Got that. And then I'm just going to go to groups and just go group loop 1. Oh. Delete lower subdivision level. Actually, I'm going to go 0 and see what that does. It'll probably do more what I want. And then I just got to go polish by groups. So now I've kind of got a little bit tidier sort of stuff. Doesn't really look like anything because I've got, you know, a color on it. But if I mask all this stuff out now, what I can then do is just go to inflate and just sort of push that in a little bit. Then basically what I've got is some kind of sci-fi-ish, you know, thing. And then, you know, it's kind of like a bit low res looking, but if you kind of only get, if you're going to get this close to it, it's not too bad. And what's the time? Like 2:30, not too bad. I probably have spent a bit longer on it, but whatever. Yeah, pretty easy sort of detail. If I want to do any more to it, I've still got my poly groups, so you know I could potentially move some of this out, or you know I can basically just continue sculpting this if I really kind of felt like it, but maybe do like a little bit and then just sort of move on because I've got a whole shoe to do. Probably good enough for what I need it for, so I'm not going to duplicate it yet, I'm just going to save it. Alright, so got that part kind of there. I'm going to grab this part here and just go Control Shift E and just make a new poly group for that. And I'm just going to go polish by groups just to smooth that out a little bit. And I'm just turning on mask by poly group a little bit, just so I can kind of push this in just slightly. Or I can do this, which will kind of get me the correct one. Then I'm gonna like invert it and just sort of smooth that out, just so that it kind of like looks like it lips into that sort of section. polish my groups again, I can kind of just tidy this up a little bit. Use H polish and just sort of flatten all this stuff a little bit. I want to get a little bit of a nicer kind of transition between this stuff. Cool. Alright, I'm just going to leave that part, otherwise I'll be fiddling with that all day. Alright. I mean, I'm not unhappy with this section here. I might just even leave that, so I'm just going to duplicate it. And I'm just gonna delete hidden. Fill that in a little bit just to give myself a little bit of extra padding there. I just want to get all these bits back so I can kind of poly group them, and it'll kind of just allow me to yeah, I'll just be able to Z-remesh it a little bit easier. Alright, so I'm just going to go to keep groups so I can keep my poly groups and just do Z-remesher, and I'll see what this target poly count does. Might need to change it. There we go. And I'm just going to do a bunch of polish by groups there. Might just do this one more time just to kind of fix up any weird bits. bunch of crazy stuff. So with stuff like that, what I'm going to do is isolate these kind of parts here. So actually physically connected. I'm actually just going to like go through and oh, okay, so I'm just going to go polygroup by auto. Don't want that. So the main thing I'm trying to figure out right now is I want to kind of maintain my polygroups, but I also want to get rid of all this stuff, and I might need to, well, actually I've got an idea. So what I'm going to do, it might kind of freak out, so I'm going to save. I'm going to make some UVs based on my polygroups, and then I'm going to auto polygroup so I can kind of isolate these sections, and then I'm going to delete the faces, and I'm going to get my polygroups back from my UVs. Bit of a roundabout way of doing it, but the main reason it might freak out is all these little pieces here. But got that, so if I go to UV map, I can morph UVs. So I've got my main bits, so I can kind of get that back. Yeah, so I'm just going to go to poly group, go auto group, so now each one of these different faces is a different polygroup, so that's one, and then I can just go delete hidden. Now all that stuff is gone, that random crap. And then now if I want polygroups back, I can just go auto groups with UV. So if I go to that, got my main polygroups back, then I can just continue zebra meshing stuff. I can detach them, but then it would sort of like split it into a million different polygroups. Oh, not polygroups, subtools, and then I'd have to go through and delete that, so yeah. So I was moving this by polygroup. Alright, so I've kind of got that part. What am I doing next? I might do the sort of like tongue section of the boot. So for this part here, what I might do is just go extract, and I'm going to set the thickness to 0. And then when I go extract, that'll just separate that into a separate subtool. I'm just gonna polish that a little bit, and I'm gonna Z-remesh it, but maybe 1 might be alright. So I just want kind of like even polygroups, really. Probably an alright poly count, I reckon. So just gonna like tidy up the shape a little bit. And for the geometry, I'm just gonna go dynamic subdiv. I'm gonna just be kind of looking at the thickness of it, really. Probably won't confirm this yet until I've kind of gone and done some other stuff, but this will kind of be here for now because I'm going to have that loop sort of underneath the next bit. Actually, I might do one preview smooth. But you know, on this part now, I can kind of just whoa. Can't hear my pen scraping on the screen. Right, so got that part, and now I just sort of need the section that sort of sits out from that. So I'm just going to isolate these two parts here, and basically the same sort of process, just extract it. And just remesh that. I'm just going to trim all this top stuff off because I don't really need that. It's like a bit more than I realistically need. And I'm also might just, my Z remesher, I might just go like half, and then I'll kind of keep walking that down until it's a better resolution, what I need. Might be right. But yeah, same deal, basically. Let's add stuff back on real quick. Just dynamic subdiv, up the thickness. But I'm just gonna that's happening. I'm just going to kind of grab all this stuff, pull it out and forward, so I've kind of masked out the other section. I just sort of want this section to feel like it goes over the top. It doesn't have to be like perfect, it's probably a little bit better if it's not. At that point, I mean, I can always adjust this once I sort of get to sculpting, but I'm kind of imagining that there'll be kind of like the pushed in bits where shoelaces and stuff would kind of be pulling it tight. Pull this part under so it kind of feels like it's like all attached. And then, I mean, I think for maybe the rest of this, maybe with the exception of this top part, I could probably leave kind of how it is. Or, you know, do a little bit more sculpting, but so yeah, probably grab this part out. And yeah, pretty much same process. Oops. That's not too bad. Cool. So might even kind of confirm it there. So I'm just going to go apply, and I'm going to try something. I don't know how well it's going to turn out, honestly, but find out. I'm just going to go polish just to smooth that out a little bit while it's masked out. And then still while it's masked out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring all my other pieces back. And then what I might try is go to, well, I'm going to save this. And then, yeah, so what I'll do is go to dynamics, and I'm just going to go collision volume. Actually, I might dock this first. I'm going to turn gravity off, and I'm just going to turn inflate on, and I'm going to see what this does. Because I just sort of wanted some padding. Well, that's maybe a little bit too much, but it's probably not too bad. Kind of why I saved it, because it's thinking pretty hard right now. So what is this? Inflate amount. So I didn't really want the collision to be inflating. Although what I might do is just turn everything else off and try that. Maybe run quicker, maybe not. Not quite doing the job that I wanted to, but it's right. And I'm just going to grab all this extra stuff up here and just kind of push that down. Just, oh, actually you might not even see that stuff. I see a little bit of it there. I'm just going to pull that down around this area. Add that little bit. Oh, the rest that's not looking too bad. Got like a stitch brush maybe I'll use. basic. So I'm just going to inflate or like kind of add some wrinkles and stuff to this just to kind of break it up a little bit, stop it from feeling overly kind of just default, I guess. And I'm going to make sure I kind of actually go over the seams as well, which is going to help with that as well, just to kind of help make sure it feels as integrated as I can. Now and I mean, I think for the shoelaces I'm not gonna do anything way too intense for that. The main thing I'll need is some of those little metal ring things. I mean, it looks like there's a few different styles I could probably be going for, but I'm just gonna go with like lace holes. Violet. I don't want them to all be the same size, but it's alright. Oh, I know what's happening. Actually, I might go back and make sure I do that as I'm going, otherwise it's going to be kind of annoying to do that. yeah, basically do that for the other side. So I've got 1, 2, 6 of them. So I'm just going to go to split hidden so I can kind of separate these out, and I can just subdivide them a couple times. And then when it comes to this, I'm just going to use some tubes here. But I just need to make sure that I've got no subdivision levels. I think what I'll need, I mean, they're not going to all be connected, which would be nice, but for the sake of what I'm doing right now, I'm just going to have them be separate. I think I just need to change my I think it might be in something else. There's like a point where you have to kind of pick when it's actually calculating this stuff, but I always forget where it is. Definitely forgotten where that is. It's really gonna annoy me now. Actually, I'm gonna try something else. I actually haven't done this properly before, so I'm gonna probably regret it. I'm gonna make a kind of weird shoelace. So yeah, like I said, I don't think I've actually done this properly before, so prepare for mild regret. So there's some options here, and I'm going to use the bend curve. So if I want to move this around, I think I just pretty much drag that red one until it kind of goes from point to point, and then I can kind of add extra points in the middle for all my actual curves. So if I think if I go back to my normal gizmo, I can kind of get it a little bit closer, and it might respect the changes I just did. If not, I'll have to redo it, but yep, seems to. So I can kind of just get this really roughly in place. So yeah, I've never used this before. I mean, I learned that it existed this morning. And if I kind of drag this point out, I can kind of add extra points in between. It will kind of, yeah, respect with the new stuff that I've kind of moved around. I may have to kind of push this stuff around to kind of get more shape in, but bit of a weird looking shoelace. I'll probably just end up, I mean, I'm not super happy with how that looks, but it's probably fine. Kind of cool thing about it is it seems to, I mean, it would I suppose make sense. It kind of remembers what I did for it, so when I duplicate it, I don't have to set it up every time, which is kind of nice. Actually, that's not how it would go. If I can. Oh, it's time. Getting a bit over time here, so what I might do, go back to my normal gizmo, and I mean, I'll see if I can duplicate this up and just reuse it at all, but may not be the best result, but it might kind of get me moving a little bit quicker, just in terms of how much time I got left for what I want to get done. Could be a mirror button, but that's right. Go. I'm basically just going to have them loop under. I'm missing it there, but I'm going to ignore that for now, just because I want to kind of move on from the boots. So just going to kind of go through and, well, going to save it, go through, mirror that stuff across, because I'm just going to call that done for now. I mean, that's kind of intersecting a little bit, but I mean, it's not fine, but I'll ignore it. what I may actually do just to kind of make this stand out a little bit. It's probably not realistic, but kind of fill that in with the color just so you kind of see what's going on there a little bit more. Cheers, man. Yeah, not too bad for hour and 20. I mean, I spent a bit longer on it than I kind of wanted to, just pure time wise. I mean, I'd ultimately like to spend a bit longer on it, but anyway, cool. Alright. Alright, so I got like what, 40 something minutes to make some gloves. So here we go. Alright, so gloves, let's have a little look. Actually, I mean, I know I should be doing the gloves. I just want to do a little bit of sculpting on this bit here, and I think I need to add a strap, like a little covering bit to the front of his chest here, so I might do that really quick. Keep kind of halving that until it looks about right. Dynamic subdiv, thickness to it. And I might just go ahead and apply that and then divide it a couple times. I'm just kind of inflating the edges here, just to kind of make it feel like it has some kind of hem, whatever the term is. I mean, I'm just gonna break the symmetry just for a couple little more centralized little wrinkles and stuff. Just because if it was baked down to a map or whatever, this would be fine as long as you're not got symmetry on your UVs or anything, or you've got your own unique UV space for this. But the main reason is I just kind of don't want to have, like, you can kind of get like a bit of a butterfly kind of effect where it's like too much of the same thing either side. Just looks, you just see the symmetry basically. And kind of at this stage of the character, it's kind of a little bit more just like noodling away at like stuff like this to try to make it feel a little bit more, you know, realistic and feel like it's actually got some fabric to it and stuff like that. We kind of done all the really big stuff. It's just like finalizing things and making sure stuff doesn't look too weird, getting all the little details in. I just kind of like move the light around just to kind of get a better sense of how this fabric's kind of looking. That happening, cool. like a... Unless it was a brush I had ages ago. I feel like there's another brush I can use to kind of just fake in a little seam there, but I can find it. Fake in a little line here. Don't like that. Anyway, stop avoiding the hands to get them out. I don't think we did end up finalizing a name. It's a tough one. I feel like today's the day, really, isn't it? Because it's the last session. Just got to commit to something. Some way people could vote. Anyone have any favorites from what's been mentioned so far? Kind of forgotten a lot of them, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of fond of Screaming Kid. That one kind of sticks out to me. Or you could like add all the usual kind of Kojima things where it's like big screaming kidman. Alright, so it's commit, actually make some hands. Alright, actually, what did I draw for this? Can't even remember what my own drawing looked like. So we've got like a strap thing going around it. We've got a few bits of like armory stuff, white tip bits. Cool. Alright. Pretty much just gonna start painting that in, and then I can polygroup it out later. For some reason there's something up with this Cintiq that I'm using, kind of like wobbles. Weird. That's true. What could the theme for this one be? What's iPencil? Like Apple, Apple Pencil? With the iPad Pro sort of thing? Yeah, I've got an iPad Pro. I do a lot of my sort of drawing on that, on the Procreate, actually. I kind of don't really post much of my sort of drawing stuff. Kind of stick mostly to 3D, but yeah, I've actually, because I used to do a lot of pitch work at my last job, but I actually end up doing a lot of it on my iPad. So I just like, you know, do the drawing and export it straight from Procreate and sort of upload it to the, you know, whatever document we were kind of putting together for the pitch. So I'd kind of just do it all there. Yeah, I kind of end up doing a lot of like 2D and 3D stuff, so probably not like the best illustrator, but I can kind of get some ideas down. But yeah, it's like, I think my iPad now is getting kind of old. Should probably, I don't know, it's one of those things where the new one came out and I was like, maybe I should get it, and then I realized I can kind of still do everything I need on my current version, so I was like, I should probably just stop being an idiot and just use the thing I've already got instead of buying stuff I don't need. Yeah, I kind of wish like Wacom pens were as nice. Like the Wacom pen I'm using right now is kind of like one of the thinner ones, and it's kind of nice. It's like the What's a it's not classic. Thin or something? Nah. Yeah, using this one because it's just like, I don't know, I don't like pens being so thick. Like, it was too chunky and it feels weird to use, whereas like this one's thinner, but yeah, the Apple Pencil is way nicer. It's just like a pen, you know. It's kind of what you expect it would be. Kind of surprised they haven't, like, Wacom hasn't tried to like copy it or anything. Kind of wish they would. Definitely better. Which generation of the iPad stuff? Because I think I've got sorry, which ones are we talking about now? Ah, yeah, I've got I think I've got the first generation Apple Pencil and maybe like second iPad Pro. Yeah, I kind of like the feeling of the matte that they've got with the, you know, preceding sort of years. It's like I'm kind of tempted to get a new one, like, I don't know. But yeah, like I said, kind of feel like I just need to run this one into the ground a little bit more until it like actually starts breaking. Otherwise I feel like I'm just sort of buying new toys for the sake of it. I think the one that I got was like just when it kind of got the what's it? Better screen refresh rate or something. I think that's the one I got. So that's at least nice. But I've kind of got like a little bit of light bleed on the actual screen itself, so it's like it's mostly fine. It's kind of just around the bottom rim of it, but it's enough for me to be like, maybe I can justify it. Yeah, kind of sucks. I wonder if it's just a problem with that sort of generation or if it's just an age thing. Like, I'm kind of thinking I might just back everything up and then just see how long it lasts. Yeah, totally. It's kind of crazy how like portable it is though. I mean, like, what screen size did you get? Did you get the 12.9 or? Yeah, it's kind of crazy, like, for something with a screen that's like realistically quite large, like how portable it ended up being. God, I just end up taking it with me. I ended up like bringing it to work most days just because, I don't know, it's just kind of good size. My partner had a one of the smaller ones. I think it was the 10 or something. And then I think she ended up upgrading to a 12.9 just because I think she was just a bit jealous of mine, to be honest. But now she's got the new one and I'm jealous. Time, but spent longer on the boots than I wanted to. So here we go. Gonna polygroup from that, and then group loop 0. Do a bit of a polish by group there. Do that. And I'm just going to go Z remesh, and I'm going to go keep groups. Part 6. I think this is my last stream actually. So we're only like, I think it's like a 4-part thing, but then if you can do a 5th one if you want. So yeah, I think this is going to have to be wherever it kind of gets to, unfortunately. But I mean, I might kind of finish it up in my own time, and I'll probably end up posting it somewhere if I do. But yeah, it would have been nice to kind of take it all the way, but yeah, I mean, I assume I'll probably end up doing more of these down the line. Might just not be a little bit, because I think they're gonna like cycle through other lecturers here at the school. So I think in the next week or whatever, it'll probably be someone else. What's my shapes meant to be? Got 10 minutes left. Might. Cheers, man. Yeah, it was really fun. Thanks for tuning in for pretty much the whole time, right? Yeah, it's been really fun. Been enjoying it. Maybe I'll do my own streaming. So there we go. I'll have to learn what the hell I'm doing first, and then figure out how to stream. Yeah, it's kind of nice. I know what you mean. I haven't really seen way too many other, I mean, I don't really actually tune into Twitch way too much, but, or things like this. Is there too many people doing this sort of stuff? That's good to know. Yeah, because I mean, there's only like a couple like 3D guys that I've kind of seen, and yeah, not too many. So I feel like it's a bit of an easier, oh, not easy isn't the right word, but I feel like with 2D stuff, you can kind of get through a bit more than with 3D, because it's like, what, I've been working on this one character for like, what would this be? This is session 5. This is like into hour 10 now. And while I feel like I got an okay amount of stuff done in that time, it's still not like a finished character or anything, so. Whereas like if you're drawing, like, I mean, I don't think the drawing for this guy took that long. It's like a couple hours to draw that, so it's like you can kind of get through that easier than it is for this, so. Yeah, pretty much to like get to something that looks like something just takes hours more. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like most people like, I like to draw, but then not too many people actually sort of would even really know what 3D modeling really is. I feel like if you do like, what's it's called? Just like concept sculpting or, you know, something like that, you know, maybe that's probably alright, but I feel like watching somebody like retopologize something's probably, you know, as boring to watch as it is to do. I mean, depending on what your opinion on retopology is. Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, like this character here, you know, he's got like most of the bits there that kind of make a character, but it's like you couldn't really do anything with this character yet because it's like not really. It's just like a blob of mesh that looks like stuff, so, you know, I'd still need to spend probably the same amount of time again. Oh no, what have I done? Anyway. Yeah. I mean, like, it's worth it when you see like your character running around and doing stuff, but until then it's just like a bit of a boring slog, but yeah, like, cause I kind of like started wanting to do 2D stuff when I first started studying, but it was, I think for me, the main thing that kind of ended up making me wanting to swap over, I guess, was I think just kind of like mainly the fact that the thing that I was going to be working on would kind of end up being the actual product that people were going to be looking at, as opposed to like a way to get there. And I mean, it depends on what, you know, you want to be working on, obviously, but, you know, I was kind of wanting to work on like video games and stuff like that, so it's like most of the time that would kind of end up meaning 3D. Obviously there are 2D games and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. And obviously now I'm kind of like into 3D printing and stuff like that, so that's completely uh, completely 3D. Some of the people at the office have been using Houdini. Well, there's like one guy who's really good at it, and then a few other people that have been kind of like dabbling with it. I've been really kind of curious about messing with that a little bit, because I feel like it could be pretty good for like automating some stuff, especially with like 3D printing stuff, like doing all the boolean stuff. I can do it in ZBrush, but I don't know, I kind of feel like getting it to be a bit more exact, whereas ZBrush I'm kind of just like got a process, but it feels hacky. Doesn't, well, not hacky, it just doesn't feel as like accurate, because ZBrush is a bit more like, how's this look? Yeah, exactly. It'd be cool to like, you know, automate stuff like I don't know, just like making a character with like heaps of scales on them or something like that, and just having that kind of get auto put over. I've always kind of wanted to make a bird for some reason, like a big weird bird. So I feel like I need to like learn how to do groom to do that. That's interesting. Yeah, I was yeah, someone at work was showing me some stuff yesterday about how you could kind of do some of that. It seemed pretty interesting. They showed me how to make like a, it's probably like, if someone like knows how to use Houdini, it's probably like baby stuff, but just like making like a staircase that you can kind of like, I don't know, just change the plank on it part way up, and it will kind of like figure out the rest of it. It's just like blows my mind. Yeah, oh, there's a program that actually kind of like layers up. You can just like chuck a photo in there, and it'll actually like layer up the image like it's kind of actually painting it. I can't remember what it was called. Something. I'm gonna check the phone real quick. Nah, I don't know where I'd find it. Anyway, pretty cool. Yeah, I can't think of what you'd have to look up to find it, but it's cool. But yeah, it does feel a lot like Substance Designer actually. It is kind of like all that like node-based stuff. But he was showing me a really cool thing where you can like just say something's like, you know, 4.5 whatever's taller than the x or something like that. You can basically just like grab that and paste it into another like function, but make it relative. So like if that number changes, it'll update that other value relative to it. So I don't know, it was weird. You can make like a step, and then if that step is as high as the pole connecting them, but you change the height of the pole in earlier, it'll flow down. I don't know, it was weird. It was really cool though. It's like stuff like that I think is awesome. I feel like stuff like that, I don't know, maybe I'm like selling myself short, but all that sort of math stuff, I don't know, I was never particularly good at maths as a kid, so it kind of just freaks me out thinking about it a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty like one of the things we're doing now, we've got like a basically like a big forest that we're kind of got our characters kind of rolling down, but we've basically got Unreal Engine talking to Houdini, so I think it's through Houdini Engine, and yeah, you can basically like spawn like foliage and all that sort of stuff through the actual thing, so you don't really have to place anything manually, which is really nice. Especially when it's stuff like, you know, bushes and shrubs and stuff like that, you can kind of just set up some rules, so it's like, you know, this shrub will kind of, I didn't do it, so I don't really know what I'm talking about, but, you know, I'm sure someone could explain it better than me, but anyway. Oh, really? That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, Houdini seems like a really, I don't know, it kind of seems strange in a way that it kind of feels like you can just do whatever. Like that's kind of how it was explained to me, so it's like if you can kind of figure out the logic behind it, you should be able to like get it to happen basically, so I don't know, seems interesting, so I feel like I just gotta set myself a project to use it for. I feel like there's a lot of things I've kind of said I need to do that with, but I don't know, it feels like it would be worthwhile. Yeah, definitely. I think kind of probably half the reason I'm kind of doing the stuff I'm doing is because I can kind of just mash stuff until it looks about right. It doesn't have to, I mean, there is technical stuff to it obviously, but it's not necessarily the sort of stuff I need to be overly, I mean, yeah, not overly technical, but technical enough. Might try something really quick. I don't think this is going to work very well, but No, no. Kind of sausagey now. Maybe. Oh, nope. Not helping me like I hoped. Okay, it's time. I'm gonna export this out, chuck it into Maya, do a quick little render, and then I reckon that's probably all the time I have for this guy. So I'm just gonna go to Subtool, Merge Visible. Hope it doesn't crash anything. Just gonna chuck my resolution all the way up. Might be a terrible idea, but we'll find out. It is kind of, yeah, it is really interesting. Hey, I feel like a lot more like artists are kind of doing more technical stuff, like yeah, using like Houdini and all that. It's pretty cool. I mean, it opens up a lot more possibilities in terms of like how much work one person can kind of get done, I think. Because yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like previously you would have had to maybe done a lot more stuff manually, but you know, it doesn't mean that it's like less artistic or whatever, but you can kind of just automate a certain part of the process and it kind of leaves more time for that sort of creative thinking, which I always kind of think is like interesting, because if you can kind of like do all the menial shit that's sort of just boring to do, then it just kind of opens up your brain a bit more to have more time for other stuff. I was trying to think about how I would pose this character, because I'm considering 3D printing it, but I'm just not sure how I would kind of handle all the pieces of it, because usually if I kind of do something for printing, I would usually just sort of do a rough block in the right pose, and then I'd kind of just do all this stuff manually, mirrored basically, because essentially I'd have to re-sculpt a lot of this if I wanted to pose it, because it would just get broken along the way. Thinking maybe I shouldn't have gone that high poly. pretty fun. It's really interesting, you know, going from having something kind of not exist to, you know, being on your desk or whatever. What printer do you have again, have I asked? I feel like it was one I had heard of, potentially. Oh, I've got an Ender 3. Yeah. Well, the main stuff I've kind of been printing on the Ender that I have, I actually haven't used it in a while, is mostly like kind of mechanical sort of stuff that needs to like function a bit more. But it actually kind of works out not too bad if you print stuff really large, because you don't necessarily see the layer line so much, because it's like so big you don't have to get that close. So I printed out like a giant, you know, anatomy decouché thing. I'm gonna go back. Yeah, so I just print out large stuff on that, and if I want anything a bit more detailed, I'll do it on the Form 3 or something. That kind of went weird, but I'll be right back here. But printers are getting pretty portable these days. I know a couple people that bought Anycubic Mono X's, and they're really good, like good size, seem to print fast, and the quality is really good. So if I was looking at getting a detailed printer, I'd probably be looking at them. Because I've got a Anycubic Photon, and that's fine. It's just, you know, they've kind of had some technology kind of bumps since I got that. I've got a Form 3 as well, and a Pure Poly Moai, but that one, not my favorite. I feel like I got a bit ripped off with that one. And it's taking forever. Doesn't wrap up in the next couple of minutes, I'll probably just call it. Yeah, 100%. Like, you could realistically kind of do stuff for clients with them, really, with the quality that they're kind of offering. Like, you can get like 25 microns in it, which is more than you need. Like, I only ever really go to 50 just because of time. But yeah, the quality of it's crazy. A bit too much, I think. Solid as in like structurally? I mean, when it comes to resin stuff, if you like drop it, it'll basically shatter. I kind of find with like PLA, they'll kind of come apart at the layers a little bit easier. But when it comes to resin, because it's kind of like more chemically binding it together, it's like fusing the resin together. It's more that the actual resin itself is super rigid, so if it drops, it doesn't like flex at all, it just shatters. So I've had a print semi-recently just kind of drop off a shelf because I hadn't glued it together properly, and yeah, a few parts kind of just like snapped off, so they can be pretty fragile. So I definitely wouldn't use it for like anything particularly structural. It would basically just be if I want something to look nice and sit there and not be touched. But yeah, but it is really nice. So it's kind of just need to know what you're going to use it for, really. So I was talking to someone that wanted to like do more stuff that would kind of get wear, and it's like I just wouldn't recommend it for that. So anyway, this is kind of not really doing what I want, so I'm going to see if I can export it. If not, I'm just going to kind of probably call it there. Might be too high poly to export. Did it? That's cool. Stop rendering. Let's see if Maya can handle it. Probably not. Oh, that's tiny. Oh, right. Oh, cool. Got him. Alright, so what's this? 10 hours of work? I don't know. It's alright. So, I mean, things I would probably be doing different is finishing up the gloves, probably do the belt different. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll probably try to get this more finalized so I can do like a print or something of it, which I think would be kind of cool. Yeah. I was trying to figure out a pose I could do them in, but not really too sure. Anyway, cool. I might just leave that kind of going. Probably call it there. Alright, so yeah, cool. Alright. Anyway, cheers for tuning in, everyone. It's been really fun. Hope I get to do some more of these, because, yeah, I mean, I'll probably do something else. Not really too sure. Maybe not a full character, maybe just like a bust or something. Spend a bit more time kind of going into maybe a bit more detail or something. So, not too sure. See how I feel. Yeah, screaming kid. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think that kind of works. Screaming kid. Got there. Only took five streams. Awesome. Anyway, cheers everyone. I'll catch you around.